My brain is frying a little bit. Once I do something so many times, like I start to get like nauseous. I need to like look away from the screen. That's so annoying. All right. This mother. Yo, he's already squaring up. He's intimidating me. Chill. Oh. Ah, well. This is. Stay away from me. Dude! Chill! Yo! He doesn't see me. How come I'm not taking damage? Yo, am I gonna die here? What do I do? What do I do? Do I stand up? Or what do I do here? I'm not blinking. Go! We're all good, baby. Is that easy?
Okay. I was gonna laugh if we died. Samus? Samus! Dragon! Dragon? Samus! Dragon! What the What just happened? We're done, by the way. Wait.
I think we can just skip this. I hope. No! 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 Gary's revenge!
Cube? Okay, not fancy. I was gonna say, hopefully Kraid, but... I was mid-jump, and I couldn't... Dumb out. How many bosses? Oh, brother.
To see all these bold new strategies just keeps it fresh, keeps it exciting. But, yeah, these runners are trying to book a trip to the grand finals to face off against you, so...
Yeah, I definitely have an interest in seeing how they're playing. Both incredibly good times. It's pretty much just neck and neck. Wow, same RNG, kind of the same Thor times. Both just excellent players.
Oh, look at this.
Wow.
Hello, Shine G sent you free.
Neck at this point. They might have even had the same exact.
Oh,
wow.
oh.
Wow. To see 147 against the runner is incredible, and then to see 247s. And just 0.02 apart, which is a lot of that's just RNG because series ticks in 1s and 2s, so you don't know if you're gonna get a 1 or a 2. So at that point,
gosh.
They're essentially just tied. It was the exact same series time essentially. So incredible. Ah!
What just happened? We're saving.
It did it again. That was a weird mother brain. Whoa!
I was slow. I went slow, and we died. I was like 5 frames too slow, and we died. Super Metroid, ladies and gentlemen. Where are the supers? Where are they? Swag. Let's get the swag. Boom. Cool. All right. Let's roll through the door. Unmorph, aim down, do the wiggle, and get the quick drop. Okay. Hi, Croc. I came for dinner. Just kidding, I'm a liar! Go die. In the acid. Where you belong.
What? What? What?
Oh my god.
No, it's not. We're fine. What? What? It's okay, I have a safety save. It's okay. What the hell was that, though? Come on. Bam, 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 bam. No drops. You stupid boss. Are you serious? He still didn't drop me enough, dude. Come on! You stupid boss! No! Why are you like this? That was the stupidest pace that I possibly could have gotten him fast on. He doesn't drop me anything. And then he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna drop you enough on round 2 either. Get hecked, Zenny. This might work.
Ah! Let's go! Guys, I'm a speedrunner.
Go right first. Go right first.
I was thinking 2-2. Whoa!
$59.86 $58.13 tonight. 56.23, and then we got the good middle steam. 52.94 with a pretty good tile boost. Holy moly! Oh, but the jump through the door was too low. That's still a great time, but it couldn't world record though. And now the series space station explodes. And the scientists that were taking a nap are dead. So I have 3 kids. I have a son who's 6, and then I have 2 daughters who are 3 and 2. And the 3-year-old, when she started talking, be like, "Hey, Mom." My wife wouldn't say anything. So after a few seconds, I'd say, "What, Natalie?" She'd say, "No! I'm talking to Mom!" Oh, this is bad.
Bing John.
Yes! Sick backup, dude! Means my stats are all screwed up.
Yeah.
9 supers? Did I see that right? What?
You know, I always wonder, like, you know,
let's imagine that these enemies like Kraid, you know, or even some of these regular enemies, they know that their job is they have to be there all the time in all these speed runs, and when they finally like kill Samus one time, they like go to the break room and they're telling everybody like, "Yo." You know, like Kraid's like every time Kraid ruins somebody's run, he's trying to get respect from the other 3 bosses, but you know they don't care.
No. F you, Dre. Dude. Oh my gosh. Oh, somebody highlight this. Or clip it, I guess. Might be too long for a clip. Jeez. And I just kept playing randomly. And I played a little bit farther than I had this morning. What the flip just happened? I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the wall. I can't get out. What is this game? Deep. Oh, shoot. We shouldn't have stuttered there. That might have screwed us, actually. Oh! Nudge it, banana. Don't. Hey guys. All right, we're not starting the actual review stuff yet. But I was eating and now I'm not eating, so now I can be on camera. I mean, I could have been on camera while I was eating. I'm just going to, you know what? I'm just going to stop. Just going to stop saying words. Cuz if I don't stop, you guys are just going to make fun of me. Anyway, how are all of you doing? I'm going to choose some music that won't play on YouTube for now. While we chill and wait for Zoast. You know what? There's only one true choice here. This one. Okay. Anyway. I'm gonna do that. Hope you guys are having a good week. What, Nia? Meow. 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 Okay, bye, I guess. Where are you going? Where are you going? Coming back? You want to be on the main camera even though you have your own camera? Yeah? Come on. There you go. Come on. Okay. Don't do this. Just... Come on. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Okay, now watch. She's going to jump back in like 3 seconds. Because that's what she does. Anyway. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. My week has been kind of weird. Yeah, she's a good kitty. It's a little loud, isn't it? Anyways. How's my week? Well, last week really, really sucked. And then Saturday was okay. Sunday was okay. Monday was okay. Today sucked. that's how. Yeah, that's how it's been. But whatever. That's life sometimes. It's okay. We'll get through it. Oh, my chat is cut off on this scene too. I had to change something, so it's... There we go. Yeah. I feel like, I mean... I don't have a ton of energy, but... I feel like this will be good content for the mindset I'm in right now. Because I don't have to focus super hard on playing. I can just chill and talk with a friendo once he's ready. And until then, I can just chill and run ads so that we don't have to run ads later. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, that's stressful, Bluebird. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Sorry, twin. Nia, make up your damn mind. But yeah, I had one of those days where my ADHD today was really bad. And every time I would get over that initial like hurdle of executive dysfunction, something would happen that would distract me and pull me away from what I was trying to start doing. That happened like 6 times. So, yeah. It was quite a day. Hey, BHB. And then I went to the gym. That was good. And now I'm trying to get this set up. All right, looks like Zoast will be live soonish. Back with ice cream. Lucky. I can't wait to start eating ice cream again. It's going to be great. Yeah, this is the any percent shirt. This is the PRKD any percent shirt. So there's also one with there's one for KPDR, which has plasma instead of spacer. And then there's one for 100%, which has everything. I don't think I made an RBO one. Why is that emote cut off? That's weird. It's fine on Bluebird's, but not on Nate's. I could make a low ice one. Maybe I will. This shirt design is actually more effort than you would think. What do you mean, Arian? I still haven't played the Elden Ring DLC. I probably should eventually. I really liked that game. A health bomb is where you go, 29 energy or less. And then every drop that you receive after that will be energy until you get a drop when you're at 50 energy or above. The beeping starts at 30 energy, so you can technically get beeping, but not health bomb. Yeah. But if you go 29 or below, you will get nothing but energy until you get a drop at 50 or above. You can also get nothing drops, I think. Energy or nothing. I don't know, Tex. That's a good question. Well, yeah, BHB. Health bomb doesn't happen until you hit 29 or lower. Hey, Wolfheart. How's it going? Would that apply into drop manipulation? Occasionally. Sometimes you specifically want a health bomb. Reserves do impact, actually. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, they do. And I think I might be wrong. I don't remember the rules exactly. But I know that there's situations where if you have any energy in reserves, you can't do X, Y, Z, whatever. But that's probably separate from health bombs. How's GT Classic grind going? I haven't had much time for it, to be honest. I've only been able to do like 2 streams. My life has been not very conducive to speedrunning the past 10 days or so. Oh. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like, it sucks because objectively I don't have a whole lot to complain about, but it has been pretty sucky. Today especially was just bleh. I tried so hard to get over my ADHD executive dysfunction hurdles. Like, it took everything out of me. But by like 2 p.m., I was already burnt out on the day. And I had to keep going. Yeah. So we'll do this for a couple hours and then chill the rest of the night. Hopefully tomorrow's better. I like that Nia is sitting in the exact spot to hide from you guys. She's on my lap. She's like, ha, you guys can't see me. Take that. Want to bet, Nia? Watch this. Where is it? Boom. Ha. Get seen. Birdo. She moshing. No, I'm bouncing my leg to the music. Boo. Oh no, you guys can see my protein boosting bars. That's nothing, guys. Don't even worry about it. There's nothing down there. What, Nia? Did you think I was getting you cat treats? Boo. Yeah, I usually eat one of those for breakfast on the weekends when I'm trying to get stream going early. They're actually pretty good for protein bars. They're a little more expensive than like your standard protein bar, but they don't taste like garbage and their texture isn't like chewing rubber. So I'll take it. What type of protein bar? They are Quest Hero protein bars. Crispy. So these ones are cookies and cream. But they have other flavors too. So there's other Quest protein bars that are more like very chewy. These are not like super chewy. These are crispy. Looks like Zoast is maybe ready. Or getting ready. Let me see if his stream is up yet. It is not. Okay. Starting a call. Join call. Hello? Hang on. Boom, 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 boom. I can't hear anything right now. Oh, why is that? Yeah, hey, what's up? Okay. Yeah, but I think there's an echo. Wait. Maybe we're good? Yeah, so yeah, I can hear myself when you talk. Testing. Okay. Yeah, but it seemed okay now, I guess. So. Okay, cool. Is your stream up? Not yet? No worries. Yeah, no problem. Trying to figure out what. So like I want your cam on the scene, but at the same time, so you can't share it through Discord, right? Because of your separate PCs or whatever. No, that's okay. No worries. You can't share your cam through Discord, right? Sure. Yeah. So that is my plan. I'm just thinking like through the Discord call, your voice is going to be ahead of your cam from your stream. Does that make sense? There's going to be like a delay, and that's okay. Because I can fix that in post editing. Should be able to fix that. Right. Yep. Yeah, no, I should be able to. There'll just be a little bit of a desync on stream, and you know what, chat? You guys can deal with that. Ha. Well, so you haven't updated OBS yet, have you? Okay, yeah. So if you had, you could do like a virtual camera, but that's okay. Let's not worry about it. It's okay. Okay, so hey, Park, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna switch here. We'll switch over here for this. Okay, so you guys should be able to hear me still. It looks like you can. And Zoast is live. So I'm going to pull open his stream. And let me think about this. Okay, we're going to do, here's what we're going to do. I think this will work. Maybe. YOLO. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to crop it like this. Why do you have 240p suite open?
Just to give myself some lighting. And
Okay.
well, there's two reasons actually. The second reason is so I'll have the dimensions for I think your game feed is going to be, and
Gotcha.
I capture it.
Should be roughly that, yes. If you need to squish it or whatever, you can. It's fine. All right. Okay, that should work. All right, and then I'm gonna steal your chat too. Ha!
Yes.
Ha ha ha. Okay, 1 sec. Oh, I can just copy. I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. Copy, paste, move that.
I've never been dumb ever or done anything dumb.
No, never ever.
Never
Never ever ever ever. Okay. Let's do a filter, a color key.
I'm gonna get a glass of water.
Go for it. That color. Boom. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. All right. So now I'm going to hide these two things real quick. Hidden. We've hidden the stuff. We're going to start a virtual camera. Wait. Okay. Yes. Except not that. That's okay. I can fix that. I need to find the run. Okay, there's that. And okay. Window capture. That. Capture method this. And we're going to squish this. Not squish. Crop. We're going to crop this and that. And crop this. And crop that. All right, cool. I'm a professional streamer, guys. Can you tell how prepared I was for this? I totally didn't throw this scene together like half an hour ago. Okay.
So you're sharing the runs on Discord, right?
I will be, yes. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, so in theory, now I can change this to, whoa, why is that? That's so weird. Okay. S, T, V, okay. Open up Discord. Share, nope. Camera. OBS virtual camera. Turn on. All right. You see that?
Main screen turn on.
You see that? I am sharing. Yes, no?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it.
Okay. And then you should still be able to see it. Confirm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess thinking about it. I may have one other little issue here. 46 hours on your timer. I wonder if I can. Okay, you know what? I can. I'm going to change something with my audio here. We're going to get rid of that. And I'm going to hope and pray this doesn't bug out. But if it does, then oh well. Okay. So, will you say something?
Something.
Okay, thank you. And then I'm going to do this as well. Okay, seems good. I can adjust that if needed. And I almost forgot the most important part. I'm capturing the run audio separately from your audio so that they'll be on different tracks and I can move stuff around without, like I can sync it up without messing it up. But I didn't separate them yet, so that part's kind of important. Okay, let's see. Just me, just game, just Zoast. Just me, just Zoast, just game. And that should do it. Okay. Are you all cropped and stuff?
Oh God, did it change?
What did you do? I didn't change anything. I didn't change a darn thing.
Dadgummit.
What did you do?
It's the mistake.
I put it back on the main series screen.
Oh. You know what I hate? How I don't know. This may have changed. It's updated.
What?
One I've got. When you are using a transform and you're just taking ticks off of the operator. there's like a green selection around it,
Uh-huh.
so you can't actually see the edges. So you have to edit transform and take one off,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
close, and go back and see if it's.
I think it's better than it used to be. I do remember, so it is way easier to move stuff now than it used to be and to resize and whatever. Just update your freaking OBS, Zoast.
Then I'd have to. I don't know. I need a new computer, but I'm just putting that off. So I know at some point before too long, I'm just gonna have to, flip the table, with the whole setup.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm just kind of putting that span there.
Cool. Well, you think we're set up?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
Good to go. Okay. So first of all, just let me say to chat, you guys remember how I got 4 out of 4 NMG world records and how cool that is? Well, this other guy here on the other side has done that at least like 3 times. So Zoast is the GOAT. Just for the record, if anybody doesn't know that already.
We don't have to do GOAT debate.
It's true. It's true.
It's not.
You're my
it's
GOAT.
not.
You're my GOAT. All right.
Yeah, see, there it is. That's. I accept. I accept statements such as that.
Right.
Personally.
So
that's what it always means to me.
Yeah. That being said, thank you so much for being willing to do this, man.
You're welcome.
It really means a lot, and I'm really, really excited to do this. So, are you cool with starting with low ice, or would you rather watch another run first?
Oh, it's whatever. That's
okay.
Low ice. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, trying to think. Like, I didn't script this or like even type out like an agenda or anything with this, but like, I know that for me, like in my experience pursuing this, like there was definitely, even if it wasn't necessarily like a real like time limit, there definitely felt like there was a time limit on the possibility of me being able to like secure it, if that makes sense. Because like other categories are, always a moving target in one way or another.
Yeah.
So like that
you get Drewski and Behemoth playing 90% right now for
right.
Just one, and you got Oates playing low percent ice at the same time as you.
You're right. And
so, I mean, yeah.
It was definitely really stressful, especially because, I mean, not that I don't think I could beat my any percent run, because I do, even though it's really, 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 really good. But beating that would be harder than I think anything else. So that was definitely putting some pressure on me, where I'm like, man, if I don't get this low ice run before, Drewski or somebody takes any percent, like it's gonna be way harder. So anyway, that being said,
for sure, you're really right on about that. Like, it would be tough to take those back.
Yeah.
At least quickly, like.
For sure. So yeah, I mean, all that being said, like, what was it like for you when you were doing your grants? So I know that your initial like leaderboard domination, or whatever you want to call it, the first couple times you did that was like 2013, 2015, like that kind of time, right?
I think, it got broken up because I think half of them were broken up by Cop Power. He was one of the few that played all the categories at a high level.
He kept crashing the party.
Yeah. But it was fun. Like, you want that, especially back then, because I feel like even though there's still a lot of like changes to the game, like you look at this this run's not supposed to be playing yet, is it?
No. I can start it though if you want. I just figured we could talk about it a little bit first.
It's whatever you think, but I mean, low percent ice is still changing a lot. Y'all are coming up with some really cool stuff for that still to this day. But back then, it's probably I would say it has to be more so that things change quickly because some of these like not low percent ice necessarily, but some of the other categories like RBO, especially RBO, as far as these four, uh, was changing like wildly. The like route changes quickly. You know, like every run was almost a route change in RBO for a little bit.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little different.
And
but,
I mean the game itself was just less optimized back then. Not I mean, what am I trying to say?
Well, there was a lot of people playing any percent, and there was like at least 3 people that I can think of, maybe 4 that were playing 100% at a pretty high level, at least for the time, you know. And you know, we were always finding stuff back then,
Right. There was
rediscovering stuff and discovering stuff.
Right.
Like,
there was so much room
you know.
for finding new things. Not that there isn't still a lot of room for the game to improve, because there definitely is. But like, you know, a strat that saves like 1 to 2 seconds today in like any percent, that's like huge. That's like OMG, like I have to pick up this 2-second time save. Where, you know, back then, I mean, route changes and stuff, like you're probably finding larger time saves more consistently, I would think. But
there wasn't that many route changes in any percent, I would say. Like there was like the dropping stuff was a big change.
Yeah.
And then you know, obviously PRKD was a huge thing. And those were the 2 biggest ones really. I mean
and then Moonfall.
I guess there was variations to get. I guess you know there were like some pretty significant time saves, I suppose, routing wise to streamline KPDR.
Yeah,
you know, getting it down to 0 pause and so forth. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it was also small stuff, but it was coming probably at a greater pace. You know, exploring all the door fixes. Once you like think of one door fix and it's kind of unexplored, there's going to be a million others to find. So just stuff like that.
Yeah, that is something that I often forget, is that like I don't remember who said it. A few years ago, somebody mentioned the door fix revolution.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I was like, oh yeah, like that used to be something that people didn't really consider that much. Like, because it makes such a huge difference.
Well, you got to think of the history where it was like only a couple of years, maybe a year or 2 removed from doing game time strats. So
right.
Everybody's like got this way of playing, and I mean, obviously new people will come in and bring some fresh things.
Yeah.
But even I was watching like old Hoda runs sometimes. You know, I mean, obviously there was SRL or Speedruns Live and that community, which I learned a lot from. But I was also watching old runs too, so I guess I was kind of in the middle of that. You know, like I came in when real time was already the thing, but it was still kind of new.
Right. Speaking of Hoda Ruby, shout outs to him, by the way. We would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge he did the leaderboard sweep before any of us. Before either of us, I guess I should say. Back then, you know, there were less categories, but he definitely, you know, he had any percent, 100%. And
and it lasted for like 4 or 5 years. Right, so
exactly.
That's super strong. Like I haven't been able to, like, and none of mine are more than like 30 days or something.
Oh, none of your leaderboard sweeps. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, like there was like maybe 90, at most 100 days, maybe during each of those years. But they kept getting broken up by other people, you know, being one of them.
You would have had it for a lot longer if I hadn't ruined your party in 2021.
Well, if I thought it, you know, like I don't think I was super conscious of it back then. I probably was to some extent, you know, that I was doing well on leaderboards, obviously. But, you know, I wasn't like immediately, let's play this other category if Cop Power beats it or something. Like, it wasn't really like that. And there was so much stuff to learn and do that, I don't know. It's more fun just to kind of, you know, explore what you were doing a lot of times, just like it is today.
For sure.
Maybe differently, but it's similarly, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, the unfortunate thing is that the more that you do it, the less you're able to. But definitely one of my favorite things about running a new category is strat finding, or thinking about routing optimization and stuff like that. But yeah, for sure.
I can be really hard headed about trying not to look at anything new when I pick up a new category. I'm like, if I look at, I don't know, this could be just complete hogwash, but I think to myself, if I look at it with a completely fresh eyes and I don't have anybody's ideas in my head, maybe I can think of something fresh for the category. And then I figure after that takes, a couple of weeks or however long, kind of start looking at a lot at what other people do to, oh yeah, that is better, or
Yeah, I've definitely I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm that way necessarily because I typically just copy you to start. But for sure,
I'm not always that way, but that's kind of a more of a like last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, maybe. I don't know. I can't really remember. I can't really remember exactly how I approached runs 10 years ago, to be honest.
Yeah. I have definitely found that if I focus on doing what I want to do first, and then once I'm a little bit more comfortable with the category, looking at what other people are doing, that seems to be a better approach for me. But that's just me. So anyway,
it's not. I don't really have any hard and fast rules, but I tend to do that sometimes recently.
Yeah. Yeah. So you did the sweeps back in the earlier days, and then the most recent time that you did it was 2021. And the way that I remember this is you were running RBO and I was at the end of my hundo grind that year, and you broke my RBO run, which I was super happy about, by the way, because I've been waiting for that for a long time. And I want to say it was pretty shortly after that that I took hundo, and then we were both running RBO together after that. So keeping that in mind, like, I know that was a big deal to you because I remember us having conversations about it and how you were hoping that you could do that.
Yeah, I was more conscious of it at some point.
Right. So, first of all, let me apologize if I was stressing you out with my hundo grind.
I don't recall ever being stressed out by it.
That's good.
I could have. I mean, I could be wrong. Stressed out.
But yeah, so once you achieved that, do you recall any sort of like thinking about what else you wanted to do, or if you wanted to do anything else or anything like that?
Oh God, and 4 years ago?
too
4
long.
years
ago. Been too long.
4 years ago is almost in that 10-year category that I was just talking about. For SM, I can't remember what my feeling was about the game or anything like that.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah,
I think I was just enjoying the moment. Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think I was really.
Well, that's fair.
Anything.
And I mean, you'd been doing such hard grinds for so long, back to back to back. It kind of makes sense that you would be in a place of like, I'm going to chill for a while after that. So.
Well, at some point, my hand got wrist. I had really.
Yeah, you had your injury.
A hard time with my wrist for like a year. It was pretty. I had to take it pretty slow.
Yeah.
For it, or I felt like I did because I got to a point where it was pretty bad.
How's that doing, by the way?
No, it seems to be doing better.
Good.
I don't have any concerning pains. I haven't in a long time. I play guitar and everything. I can even play piano and guitar, and it doesn't hurt my hand. That's big because for like a couple of years almost, or maybe at least a year or two, it was hard to do that without worrying about it.
Yeah. And that's good, especially because I know how important music is to you. So I'm glad.
Well, I mean, being able to use your hands, I mean, not that you can't have a life without doing that, but that's something you don't want to lose, obviously.
For sure. Okay, well, we can start this run. I'm sure you've never seen the beginning of a Super Metroid run before, so we can just start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wait. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I was, obviously, beginning of every Super Metroid run is pretty straightforward, except for RBO, which we can talk about when we get there. But earlier you were mentioning Low Ice is still kind of in that stage where new strats are being found and ways to go faster, ways to be more consistent, or whatever are being found.
Yeah, it's not really. And they're bigger kind of time shaves. I mean,
Right.
not that they're not massive as they used to be for some of the stuff we're going to compare to, but they're bigger than like what any percent would be typically finding these days.
For sure. So yeah, I mean, keeping that in mind, like there's probably going to be quite a few things here that, we can talk about, things that maybe have changed since you ran it, or other things. There's probably also, going to be much more notable like time losses. I will say just straight up, this is by far like the least optimized run that I have out of the 4. So it's kind of nice to get it out of the way, to just, be like, here's the trash, but like,
no, this is far from being trash, dude.
It's a good run. It is. I'm happy with it, but I'm, obviously nowhere near as happy with it as I am with any percent or 100%, for example. But yeah.
Oh, that's just big. Low percent ice is serious category for sure.
Oh, for sure. People keep asking me if I'm going to do low speed, and I'm like, no. Why would you want me to torture myself?
This was back in the day, just talk about the old days. This was probably I would say the hardest of Hoda Rubies to beat.
Oh yeah.
In the day. It was the last one that was beat, and I think it was the hardest because if you think about it, there's not so much opportunity to save time for in-game time by pausing and stuff like that.
Right.
So his run was, I mean, it's still like really weak compared to a modern run, but there was less obvious ways to save time, just strategically, just switching over to real time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially Hundo.
When did you first run this category? Do you remember?
It had to be 2013. I started, unless I don't remember doing it. I doubt I did any. So I probably started with any and Hundo. I started with any, and then I think probably Hundo after.
So any percent, then Hundo for a while, then any percent for a while, and
then 2013 I branched out into pretty much everything that was available.
Right. Nice mock ball there, by the way.
Kind of at the same time, it was wild. Like I remember like doing multiple categories a day on PB. Of course, I mean I was still I had only been playing for 3/4 of a year.
Right. Good old days where you could just PB twice in a day and it's not even a big deal. Not that can't
some of the
still
categories,
happen in some categories, yeah. But
some of that was just I was learning other categories while I was still working on the one, like
for
Hundo
sure.
or whatever, maybe something like that. At least as I recollect.
Yeah. Speaking of that, how do you manage playing more than one category at the same time? Because that just breaks my brain.
I don't do it anymore. I don't really do it anymore.
Yeah, I was never good at that.
I think they have to be, they'd have to be different.
Yeah.
Preferably not too long. I don't know.
Makes sense.
Still, yeah. It's really not ideal. But if you want to learn everything at once, I don't think it's bad at first, especially. If you're putting a ton of time into it, then it may be more efficient to start focusing on one.
Yeah. So, okay, I wasn't around in the old days of this specific category. I've been watching Super Metroid speedruns for a long time, but first of all, I wasn't really interested in stuff like low percent for a long time. And second of all, when I was first watching, it was just, I think, any percent and 100%. And then I didn't really watch much at all for a few years. And then when I came back, there were like all these other categories. So keeping that in mind, when I want to say this was mentioned in GDQ at one point, when PRKD dropped for any percent, did that also drastically change this category's routing, or like, do you remember that?
I don't think so. I think this was always Fantune first. Was it not?
I don't remember. That's why I'm asking you. And it's okay if you don't remember either.
Well, I don't want to put a little bit of a question mark on that, but I don't think it was anything other than
Tex is saying no, this wasn't. So it wasn't Fantune first, is that what you're saying, Tex? Because if that's the case, it would actually drastically change this category, I think. Fantune first.
Yeah. I know Speed Booster, low percent speed, was a crate first for a little while, and
but that
JD was the first one to do the Fantune first.
Right. Okay.
I thought this was always bomb jumps, but I can't remember.
Yeah, Wiki doesn't say any crate first. Okay. So I guess yeah, this is probably always Fantune first. Wonder what I'm thinking of.
We could look up one of my first runs or something.
Yeah.
See if I did Fantune first. Or even Hoda's run. That'd probably be the one to look at. How easily it is to find his run.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. I honestly, I really want to go back and see what like more obscure Hoda runs I can find. Just because like the way that he plays the game is just so cool.
I'd recommend the Cliffhanger run. It's a ROM hack, but it's kind of a wild run.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that. So
I was lucky to catch him when he was streaming that, and I was always kind of blown away by how kind of the tech in that run. It's really cool. I think Hoda was involved with, I don't know, I think he had some sort of tasks as well at some point.
I know he's done some. I just don't know exactly all of what he's done. I remember watching him do some tasks for, what was it? It was a ROM hack of some sort. And I think I also saw him doing some task stuff in Link to the Past at one point, which is pretty cool. But
he works on a lot of things.
All right, so
yep,
we're going to Fantune, and the thing that sucks about Fantune in this category is you only have 10 missiles to work with. So 2-round isn't even guaranteed, really. Like even if you play perfectly, like a lot of the time you're just not going to get the missiles that you need. But yeah, any thoughts on that, Zoast? About like Fantune in this category specifically?
Kind of wish we could one round them.
It'd be nice. Just do the Drewski Super, man. Just do the Drewski Super.
There you go.
Yeah, this definitely... So something interesting, actually, that came up when I started running this category. More than one person said to me, like, you might have trouble with the bosses. And what's so funny to me about that is, as long as I've been a speed runner, I've actually been more interested in challenge runs for like even longer. And so I wasn't ever really worried about optimizing the boss fights in this category.
Yeah.
But they are a big
Well, you
deal.
definitely. Sure.
Go ahead.
I can see you doing well just judging by how optimized your Mother Brain and Hundo got to be, and how early you figured that out pretty quick.
Right. So
as judged by our race where you saved like 20 seconds on me there and took the lead, commanding lead. I remember
in the multi-category.
Multi-category.
Yeah.
That was a cool race.
A lot of that was stand-up.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this was a fast. So let me just say, right out the gate here, this fast really carried my run, like in a big way.
Yeah.
I think Oat's record before this was a 3-round Fantoon even. I don't remember for sure, but so
that's killer, dude.
Yeah.
3 round.
Yeah. So yeah, keeping that in mind, like, again, I would never call this run a bad run, right? But
yeah,
it definitely got the right luck in the right places to be what it is. And I just managed to not make too many mistakes in between. So
yeah. It seems like I think y'all cut out some of the luck before Ridley. That was one of the places that really got me in my run.
Yeah, a little bit.
Run before y'all, yeah.
Like the farming there has been optimized a little bit, and also the
it's probably the worst room in the game as much as anything.
Yeah, Lower Norfair, I would say, just in general, a lot has changed in this run, starting from entering Lower Norfair all the way until leaving it. To be honest, like there's just been a lot of like little and big optimizations.
It's cool stuff. I love it.
Yeah. Going through rooms faster or farming more efficiently or, you know, manipulating Ridley more efficiently, like whatever. Like there's been a lot of advancements there. So there will be a lot to talk about at that point in the run.
Is that worst room? Is that the Streams strat, or is that where that came from?
The worst room in the game, bomb jump, is a Stream strat. It is.
It's like speed previously already, hadn't it?
He initially did it for low speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And
is there anything else? I guess there wouldn't be too much else that would come from that run.
You did you did commentary for one of Stream's low speed runs.
Right? Yeah. No, it's an awesome run. Like his speed run is really.
So Jack Valentine is asking, are those spikes not deboostable? They are, and actually we do little deboost there. The thing is, if you do a full deboost, you're actually not going to get enough run speed during your iframes to survive. So you have to do kind of a little deboost instead, and then take advantage of the iframes so you don't take more damage in the spikes and die, which it used to happen to me a lot. So...
I don't know who's found everything, but y'all found a lot of really cool stuff lately. I really love it to see it.
I would say thank you, but I didn't really find anything. It was mostly, honestly, shout outs to Eddie. Eddie found a bunch of stuff in this category in like 2 or 3 weeks. He's like, why don't you guys do this? Why don't you guys do that? One of those strats is actually coming up here. So if we hold a charge into this room, and then you do a jump, and then you just release the charge, it'll kill that Zila, and you can get a drop there. That is way more helpful than it would look like casually. The reason I didn't do a moonfall there is because I deboosted too close to the door. So I knew that it wouldn't, like, my shot wouldn't automatically break the block, and I just suck at adjusting there, so I just didn't even try.
It's awkward to cover that one, yeah.
Like you try to adjust and then you miss a moonfall and then you bonk the Ripper and yeah, it's just bad. So I
got a shout out Overfiend and 2CAC. They were against Cop Power, but there was a lot of back when this was back when I have maybe some of my fondest memories. I mean, I have a lot of different eras of fond memory, obviously, but
yeah, Overfiend was definitely goated in this category. Okay, I'm trying to think about what's coming up here. So, we're not there yet, but in pre-cathedral, I go for the aggressive version of the bomb jump. I think I get it. I don't remember for sure. And funny enough, the reason that I like insist on doing that bomb jump is because I had to do it for Crocomire RTA way back in the day.
Yeah.
In like 2019. Because if you don't do it in that
Was it
category,
required?
yeah, if you don't do it in that category, you just die. And so I was like, I had to do it back then, and I did. So I'm just gonna keep doing it now. No, that's stubborn Zen
Crazy.
coming out. To be honest, like I really should have been more open to doing this lower strat. And I eventually did start like learning how to back it up correctly, but
is it standard to grab that drop?
it depends on your resources. It's something that Oates was doing. Okay, let's see if I. Yeah, no, I. Oh yeah, okay. So.
That's way tougher than it looks.
It really is. It looks not bad. The bombs have to be placed in a very specific spot for that to work. It's really stupid. But yeah, so this whole last segment of the run has been all about resource optimization. And prior to the new worst room in the game strat, you would have to make sure that you had enough missiles in addition to enough energy and supers and everything else. So that's one of the biggest benefits to the new worst room in the game strat, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But this farm is really cool. I like that farm. And then we actually do a boost into Lava Dive here. This is a Stachio strat, which I actually really freaking love because it reminds me of Stachio Skip, like Baby Skip. So yeah, that's a couple seconds right there. Saved over older strats. It's like a KPDR style chronic boost.
How hard was it to learn this?
To learn what?
The bomb jumping and worst room in the game.
I didn't feel confident with it for a couple weeks, but I was able to do it pretty consistently after just like a day or two. It's one of those things where the smallest thing can change and break it without you realizing what even changed. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's really beneficial because it saves missiles and it's faster. So I don't really know how to explain it other than that you have to move Samus in a very specific way in addition to placing the bombs in a very specific way in order to make this work. And if you do it correctly, then it saves 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Like it's pretty substantial. So
How much ammo does it save from the previous strat? Do you know?
Sorry, what?
How much ammo does that save from the previous strat?
So AMH's strat used 4 missiles. So it's I mean, that could be 1 farm, it could be 2 farms. Like it really just depends. It's kind of an aggressive jump right there, which I like.
Can you jump all the way over? Or
You
is that
can,
just with speed?
yes.
Yeah.
But it's way harder, and I stopped trying to do it because I kept hitting the key hunter, which is bad. You do not want to hit those guys. So, Metal Pirates is coming up. So, probably the coolest thing about the Metal Pirates in this category is we figured out how to do double hits on them. So I don't remember if I actually did that correctly here, but okay, so I did not. But you can do either 1 double hit or 2 double hits. I only ever went for 1 because the two double hits ends up being a few seconds slower. So it really is kind of like a risk reward thing. I really like this farm. So use a bomb right here to blow up all 3 of those bugs. And you can also, like, there's a way to do the 3-bug farm to the left instead, but I wasn't very good at it, so. Now, this ended up
Like,
being
bring-
pretty bad here. I don't remember exactly what the room time was here,
Yeah.
but it's certainly I'm losing a lot of time.
See, you copying me again. This was the worst part of my run. This farm.
Yeah.
I think I lost like 17 seconds or something pretty
That
significant.
sounds about right. So Eddie came up with this cool manipulation you can do. I don't remember exactly how well it goes for me, so we can look and see. But Ridley will start lunging at you right here if you do this correctly. And if he does, you can actually loop him between a lunge and like a back off, and he'll lunge again. And okay, so he didn't really do it at all. But you can get him stuck in that all the way until he starts swooping. And if you do that, it saves a lot of time. That being said, I mean, really the rest of this fight is all about optimizing your DPS with your charge shots. The missiles and supers are very important as well, obviously, but basically you don't want to be holding a charge for any longer than you absolutely have to, because if you do, you're just bleeding time every time that you're overcharging. So
It was a BS tail whip, by the way.
yeah, that's classic Ridley.
Classic. How do you execute that missile? Do you manually press item cancel after?
Yeah, I manually press item cancel after.
You did it again. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, the auto item deselect, I don't know, it's probably something with my grip or something, but I just sucked at it. Like, I ended up losing time most of the time when I tried to do the item deselect thing.
That's crazy. Like the auto deselect?
Yeah. Something about like trying to do it at the same time as I was trying to like morph and roll under his tail. I don't know. It just never really worked very well for me. So that's something that I'd probably try working on again if and when I ever come back to this category. But so you'll see me laying a bomb when I roll under Ridley's tail. That's actually to prevent a shot from coming out to avoid lag, so that I can start charging. I don't know if I'm going to do it again, but
That's cool.
yeah. I end up doing something really bad here. I totally forgot. So you'll know it when you see it. At least I think it was this run. Yep.
Oh, that is some lag.
Yeah, that's really bad. Oh man.
That was some Gradius 3 lag right there.
Yep. That being said, this fight actually went pretty okay considering the mistakes. I don't remember the room time, but
So did you find that the missile was still faster? Anyway, how you were doing? How you were doing it after the roll under? Yeah.
Yep. All right. Ridley's dead. I don't remember when I stopped looking at my splits in this run, and you guys can't see them either, so whatever. But this is one of the runs where I did stop looking just because I knew that they were going to distract me if I kept looking. And I knew it was going to be close, too. I really didn't want that pressure at, like, the end of the game, so... Trying to think of what else is coming up here.
I remember one of the ones I found was the well, just it wasn't really. I don't know if you call it a find. Doing the deboost still out of the clip here. Something about like crouching and or like aiming down before taking the deboost or something that to get over the thing. Oh, you don't do it, okay?
No. So the reason I do this way is to try and avoid all damage. Sometimes that last hopper will just jump low and you just take it, but I kept dying. I kept dying in like Three Musketeers or whatever, because this room, just like in any percent, is just really finicky, and your strat that has been solid for a week will suddenly break. So like, yeah, I took a hit there. And Three Musketeers, I ended up going with a safer strat for the last like month or so that I was doing runs of this, and so I probably could have started doing the Deskiga boost again, but I don't know. I prefer just going through the iframes. So
It's fair. I mean, I was thinking back in the day, there was definitely the positioning of Crane. One of the things we had to figure out, like the text was getting that balloon super was really big for us, that I remember at least.
yeah,
To make that worth it, gravity jump and clicking the super from
for sure. Yeah. There's even more cool Meridia strats now than there used to be. And honestly, that's probably my favorite part of this run. Because, like, okay, my favorite thing about Super Metroid is cool movement tech. And up until... I mean, obviously, there's, like, worst room in the game is super cool. There's a couple other little things here and there that are super cool, but this category in general, I mean, your movement items are pretty stripped down, and so there isn't as much opportunity for cool movement tech, but there is a ton of opportunity for it in Meridia, which I really like, so that's a cool strat too right there. Just the shoot up and then wall jump up. I've always kind of liked that. So now we're going to Kraid. Zos, do you want to talk about Kraid, like why we still do him third instead of second in this category? Do you want me to talk about it, or?
You go ahead, because you're more knowledgeable at this point. I haven't really thought about this category in 4 to 5 years too deeply.
That's fine. So after this, we have to go to Botwoon, and for Botwoon, we need supers. So if you do Kraid before Ridley, you don't have a convenient super refill spot, but if you do Kraid after Ridley, you have mini Kraid. So that's the biggest reason. It doesn't save nearly as much time in this category as it does in like any percent, for example, because you don't have like speed booster, etc., etc. But again, if you don't have mini Kraid to farm, what you have to do is you actually, on your way out of Lower Norfair, you have to go up to the speed bugs and farm those instead, and it's just slower. So
I remember doing that. Yeah. Feels like that was the biggest thing we wanted to cut out. We were like, this kind of stinks having to go to these bugs.
Yeah. It is definitely slower. I don't think it's... Okay. Probably the best way to put this is, if you're racing this category, you should probably always do Kraid second, because the difference isn't big enough to be worth it. But yeah, in like a world record attempt, for example, it's definitely worth it to do the harder, more risky thing. So
that's what I love about racing in this game. You can sort of tailor your run to the race sometimes.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to enter Meridia here. Some really, really cool strats here. So first of all, we do a morph into this door because it lets us up onto this ledge without scrolling the screen up so that we can squeeze past this fish. So that's cool. And then coming up here next, we have Everest. Now, since we don't have speed booster, we can't shine spark here. So what we end up doing is a gravity jump instead. And Zoast mentioned this earlier. So we shoot this guy early so that we can collect a super missile drop during the gravity jump. That is way more important than it looks. It makes a huge difference. That wall jump's kind of cool too. And then the ice clip. The ice clip right before Botwoon, not this room, but the next room. Honestly, like as far as like just movement tech optimization, I think this ice clip is one of my favorite strats in the whole category. Like it just feels so cool to do it fast. Of course I messed that up. But Botwoon here is a jerk in this category, just like any other category. You really, really need to do one round. It's even harder to do one round in this category because you don't have X factors. And also, you really, really need him to drop you supers. I lucked out here and got 4 supers. Another thing here is we skipped earlier energy tanks so we could grab this one rather than having to go under and around it. And then typically, I messed that up. Typically, we would want to save our power bombs for the Dragon fight, but Oates pointed out to me that you can get a bunch of supers from these bugs immediately if you use a power bomb, and that happened. So I was able to skip almost that entire farm, which is huge. That ended up being like a 10-second save for me or something. Just that farm right there.
I definitely want to hear your thoughts about the current Dragon fight because I wish I could remember. It's kind of subtle, some of the things you figure out to do with Dragon. Or at least I remember them being so. And I had some cool revelations about the fight right before I got my final time in there, but I don't really remember exactly what it was.
So
this is a really cool fight to try to optimize. It's one of my favorite fights in this category.
For sure. Yeah. You can choose to destroy or to not destroy the turrets. A lot of people destroy just the left one. Some people destroy all of them. Basically, every missile that you use on a turret is a missile that you can't use on Dragon, so it can potentially extend the length of the fight. I tried a bunch of different, like, ammo optimization things. This opener here that just happened, that was actually an Eddie strat, so that's different than it used to be. But yeah, keeping that in mind, like, basically you want to get as much damage as you can during the goop phases, and then just try not to die or lose a bunch of time during the swoop phases. The other thing that sucks is trying to avoid the goops because they're such a pain. And also you want to do these pseudo screws in between. But yeah, ultimately, like, this fight ended up being really tight for me. It wasn't a bad fight by any means, but it wasn't optimal either. I think there's probably like 10 seconds of time save there. This category forced me to get good at those bomb jumps. And I do them differently than anybody else because that's what works for me, so. You also really, really, really do not want a health bomb on your way out of here, because that will screw up the drops that you need to collect on your way out of here. So I ended up not doing damage boosts on the spikes for that reason.
Which drops does it mess up?
So, well, okay, so we're gonna do a farm here, I think. And that's helpful, but like, okay, so I got a super there, but if I was health bombed, I would not have gotten that super, right? There's also, you need power bombs. I have 0 power bombs here, so I'm gonna lose some time because of that.
Get the sponges.
Yeah, no. They don't really come in a good way to do that, unfortunately. There's a farm right there, which is really nice, but yeah, so I have to go up and around here in Aqueduct. We lay a bomb there to kill.
I like that bomb.
Yeah, it reduces lag when you have a power bomb, but we don't. So.
Oh, you're going up.
I have to, because I don't have a power bomb. So.
Yeah, I remember farming the sponges there, like going through the tunnel and then stopping and doing an aim up missile.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea actually. The going through the tunnel ended up being a little slower, which was very surprising to me.
Yeah.
So there's a double farm here, which is really nice.
It's cool.
Yeah. So initially when I was running this, I was doing like the YOLO gravity jump, but when I timed it out, the supers ended up being more worth it. So that's why we do that. That second gravity jump there is really hard. It's really tight window. I did have 2 power bombs here, so I was able to do a quick farm on these bugs and then just go. That was a big thing too. And again, like if I hadn't been doing the earlier farms, I couldn't have done that. So.
Yeah, Skittles.
Yeah, we're watching this, and then probably take like a little break, and then we'll do RBO. That'll probably be it for tonight. So having a power bomb there is really important, because if you don't, you have to go up and around, and that's really slow. You've never seen an RBO run? You're in for a treat.
Oh, that's crazy.
There's a really cool farm here, but I'm pretty sure I mess it up. Yep. So you can missile that waiver and then unmorph KO that Gamer and then farm both of those other waivers. I just totally screwed it up. So
I remember spending a lot of time in that room trying to figure out a way to. Went through like 3 or 4 different strats.
Yeah.
That are now obsolete. Trying to figure out a way to get through that cleanly with ice.
Yep. So drops are both more and less stressful in this category compared to any percent, because you need to be full, just like in any percent. But also because you have less missiles, it's easier to be full on your missiles and energy. So like it's kind of a weird trade-off like that. But the supers can totally still screw you over here. And that happened to me at least once during the runs that I was doing.
Yeah, there's no way to avoid, like... I mean, you have to lose all that health to have that aggressive of a Dragon fight, because Pseudo Screw does... It's just too good.
Yeah.
Throw in with everything else.
Yep.
And, you know, obviously you can't just, like, dilly-dally in already without losing time and trying to farm.
One cool thing about this category is that grouping the Metroids doesn't really lose you time. Just because of the movement options that you have in the first place. So I got a bunch of supers there, which was nice. So I'm already like feeling pretty comfortable with my drops here. Energy is a little dicey here, and I kind of panicked. I didn't mean to get grabbed by that dude. So I was like really scared here.
It's pretty good though at this point.
Yeah, well, if I use missiles, I won't be full on energy, and if I use the super, I might not get it back. So I think, okay, so I did. I used a super. I just had to kind of pray.
I would have totally used a super there too.
Yeah.
I can understand the fear though.
Yeah, it worked out. So this is new since you were running the category, baby skip. So a big part of the baby skip is because of Stachio skip. The only thing I'm really gonna say is I never got this fully comfortable and consistent. This just happened to be what was working at the time. The baby is really finicky with this strat, but it worked out, so there you have it. So that saves not as much time as it looks like. I want to say it's like 15 seconds. It's like 10 or 15 seconds. We have to open this door and then go back for a refill anyway. And because of that, avoiding the baby health drain doesn't save as much time as it would otherwise.
It's mostly just the actual room.
Right.
Faster than not having to see the cutscene.
Yeah, that and the extra refill little thing, but that's not a huge deal. It's like 1 or 2 seconds.
Oh, the actual health.
Yeah, the health
grab
itself.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think about Mother Brain. I don't know if anything has really changed in the Mother Brain fight since you did this category, but this fight is pretty entertaining, so I'll just let it speak for itself, I guess. Also, Zeb skip in this category sucks. Sometimes it just wouldn't work. It's getting really annoyed.
Oh god. Sounds like Zeb skip.
Yeah.
Well, I do miss the pause and then double refill pause, you know.
Right.
But
Isn't that slower RTA though? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it's slightly faster RTA.
I do really like the ice shields in this fight. I think they're.
Oh yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, they're a nice touch. So I got some.
Yeah,
I got some weird patterns in this fight.
You can lose so much time in this fight.
Yeah, and that's another thing is you have to be really conscious of not just releasing your charge shots as soon as they're ready, but also repressing the button so that you start your next charge really fast. And if you're not doing that optimally, like let's say that you're like 5 frames late on every shot, it's what, like 200 shots? So, 5 frames times 200. Like it just adds up really fast. So
I remember at first we used to do things like hide under her and jump over the bombs to the right.
Yeah.
Just like wildly inefficient as far as the idea of continuing to pelt her with the cannon as quickly as possible.
But just trying to survive, right? Because
there was a little bit more tuned to her like, let's just get through this.
For sure.
Because it was just more difficult sometimes. I hadn't been playing for. When I first played it, I'd only been playing.
Sorry, you cut out there a little bit.
Oh, saying when I first played this category, I'd only been playing the game for like 9 months. So.
Yep. Baby Zoast. Baby Zoast is a grandpa now. Okay, so I think we're getting to the part of the fight where things get a little dicey here. I don't remember exactly. We should be close to catch up. And at that point, like I said, like I'll just let it speak for itself because it gets kind of weird. I feel like
one thing we're gonna
take a hit somewhere too.
Running this at GDQ is an experience.
Oh, I bet. Especially your run from 2016 is. Yeah, I don't know how you did that. Like, okay, so that catch up was kind of, a little close. Like, I had it under control, but
any of the times running this category is an experience. Trying to do it live.
So you want to do an ice shield after a meatball. So I'm like waiting for a meatball, and the mother brain's like, I'm gonna do onion rings instead. So I'm like, come on, like please, right? I know like there's a chance that I'm on world record pace, but I wasn't looking at my splits. Then I do an undercharge. So I'm like starting to like, the wheels are like shaking, like about to come off, right? See the meatball, go for the ice shield. You can do a double ice shield here, but you have to be kind of careful with how you do it. So we do that, but then Mother Brain does the head.
Oh my god. Wow.
So I'm really lucky that I read that pattern correctly because
I think she threw her arm out.
It was so scary, man. So yeah, I'm glad that made it into my run. Because it's one of those things that I can just go back and look and be like, that happened, So.
I mean, that happens fairly often in low percent. It feels like there's always, not always, but there's like more often some crazy dodge.
Right.
And that fight, because it just goes on for so long. So she's kind of just more likely to do some crazy stuff that almost throws you off guard and you have to react.
That actually reminds me, for the Super Metroid 25th anniversary, GDQ put on an event where a bunch of people from the community ran a bunch of different things. And Kip did a low ice run, and I remember he had some of the coolest jukes during the Mother Brain fight. Like, it makes me want to go back and watch, because, like, I remember watching that and just being so impressed at how good Kip was at dodging attacks, like, in the weirdest way. Like Mother Brain would give
put
like
in a lot
a
of-
super weird pattern, and he would just handle it. Like it was so cool.
Kid put a lot of work in like this category.
Yeah,
too.
he really did.
That was one of his best categories. For sure.
Yeah, big shout outs to Kib. I miss that guy. Hope he's doing good. All right, so this fight sucks. Mother Brain 3. Just like doing it sucks. I don't remember exactly how it went in this run, but I think it was, you know, stupid at one point because it almost always is. Mother Brain can like stick her head back and just like get it stuck back there, and you just miss like 3 shots. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
yeah, I hate that.
So that was annoying. And then the other thing is, escape in this category is also really hard because you have to do a lot more movement optimization and wall jump optimization than in any other category that has speed booster. So I was actually really, really nervous that I was gonna like wall jump more or something.
I feel you. I lost a good like 5 seconds in my escape.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh my god, this is a run, and then I got nervous as well.
Yeah. There's some Zoden pumping here, which is, you know, pretty cool because you're not going to see that during the escape in pretty much any other category. But yeah, like I've lost so many runs to wall jumps in Leodoc's room. I was pretty nervous here. Again, because like I didn't even know if I was on world record pace, but I knew there was a chance.
Yeah.
So and
Talking
then,
about Kib, I'm suddenly hungry for some Waffle House now.
oh, dude, now I want Waffle House. Why'd you do that to me? Do you have Waffle House where you live?
Oh god, yeah.
See, I don't. Lucky you. I can't even go to Waffle House even if I want to.
I'm sure there's some good diner.
We have some good stuff, but anyway, yeah. So you know, that's the low ice run. I'm happy with it. You know, it's like I said, definitely my least optimized run, but record's a record, dude. So good stuff.
To me, this is like, I mean, to me, this is the third most important record in the game.
How dare
I always
you?
think back. Well, because I always remember Hoda having those 3.
Right.
They were like, it was like the third one really that was available, I guess.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna stretch my legs for a minute.
Alrighty.
So I'll BRB and you can BRB if you want, and then we'll do RB after that. So
How long?
probably
gonna-
like 3 to 5 minutes.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm gonna stretch my legs too.
Cool. We'll be right back.
Are you for real? You dropped me nothing. Nada. Zilch. Are you trying to dude? This is so stupid. Fantoon, you are the stupidest stupid head that I've ever stupided. You stupid dumb.
Heck Jack. Heck Jack. Heck Jack.
I just made this much harder for myself. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, all right, we're good. Oh, dude. Yes! All right, let's go. Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay, what? The first one I understood. That one was just some bull, man.
Oh my dog.
Oh my gosh, dude. What's up, Behemoth?
What? Low-key hype remix.
Oh, oh, I'm.
I didn't know what to do with the hot chip, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scam you all. Is if you can make me laugh with a text-to-speech donation, I will eat this chip in speedrun Super Metroid any percent. If I don't get a sub 47 in Super Metroid any percent, I have to 100% Metroid Dread, Metroid Other M.
What is going on, dude?
Why is she doing that?
Not a care in the world. You're Stalin, dude. Dumbass. All right. All right. Bon appetit. Okay. It's gonna f my mouth. Not in a good way. Let's get this show on the road, fellas. Still better than P-Toil's times. Oh, dude. Oh, it's curdling. Oh, it's presented to the emergency room with complaints of stomach pain. This is what happened to his large intestine. All right, I can't miss this, dude. I cannot miss this. I'm a idiot. Oh my god.
If I don't get a sub 47 in Super Metroid any percent, I have to 100% Other M.
Oh, yo, I gotta go.
Runs. Kind of going through the strategy and the history and all that. Hey, what's up, man? Do I need to crop out the rest of this? Okay. I'll just make sure it's not going to change. I had a double take when I like looked at the capture and I was like, wait, why is my Winamp on here? And I was like, oh, it's your timer. Your stream looks good, I think. I've had so many.
I was muted on my stream. Lol.
Uh
oh. I'm good now. But yeah. So.
I think it looks good. I've had so many records where like there's a bad echo or something, and just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean the quality of the run itself is fine. It's just as far as like my encoding and stuff like that, it's just outdated because it was older. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, you good to go?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Okay. So let me just push play and then. Yeah. So yeah, this is the RBO run. So, fun fact about my RBO run, or RBO in general, I guess for me. So, reverse boss order RBO was my first world record in this game. I took the record from Zoast initially in 2018. Yes. I think it was like March 2018 or something. Zoast had a 103 at the time, 103.33 or
103.37. It's lead.
103.37. My bad.
Lead. remember lead speak?
Yeah,
or
I do. No, I'm old enough to remember that.
Okay. That's how I can remember that time. It's really ridiculous, but
yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, it's, I beat it back then and I was really proud of it. I kept pushing it. I eventually got sub-hour later that year, and that was a big deal.
Sub-hour was huge. That was amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And then I ran it at AGDQ 2019, and that was super cool. That was a really cool day in Super Metroid history. Oh, I need to fix the thing. That's right. Got it.
By the way, that was Zinni's first GDQ run, which I always, like, even at the time, I thought that's crazy, doing your first
GDQ as reverse boss order.
Yeah, I mean, GDQ at that time, by that time, I mean, even my first one was like, it's like 40,000 people watching, and by the time it's like over 100 or whatever.
Yeah, it was
1,000 people watching, so it's you can't really prepare for that.
It was near its peak of popularity, and
and to do this run as your first, oh my god!
Exactly. What is so funny about it is that because I hadn't done any marathon runs, I was nervous, but I wasn't nearly as nervous as I should have been. Because like it was just whatever, like I'm good at RBO. I've been grinding it for like over a year, and it'll be fine. And it was fine, but it should not have been. That run should have been a disaster.
I was gonna ask you if it felt like more of an overload than you weren't nervous. Sometimes I feel like there's a time or two where I was just like so overloaded, where I was just like, you know what, whatever. Yeah. and then I calmed down somehow, but it was a weird way. Like it wasn't just like that I didn't care, or
for sure.
I was so cool about it or anything.
So what I can say is I was so nervous I was shaking until I got on stage and started playing and made a couple mistakes, and then I was fine. And part of the reason that I was fine at that point was because of something that's coming up here. So earlier we mentioned most categories, Super Metroid early game is the same. Like it's very much the same category to category to category. The exception to that out of these 4 is this run. So instead of going up and left here, we go up and right. That's to do something called Taco Tank, which is stupid, but fun. Zoast was mad at me that it was in the run for a while, and then he got good at it, and then he wasn't mad anymore.
I was pissed off. I was throwing things around, breaking my light fixtures and stuff.
So that was the first try Taco Tank. I'll just pause here real quick. Just to put it into perspective, it's a triple frame perfect with a coin flip trick. So coin flip means that even if you do everything correctly, there's a 50% chance it just won't work. If you get it first try, it saves like 40 seconds. And if you don't get it within a few tries, then it's basically a reset. So, yeah, it's just I don't know. It kind of sucks that it's in the run, but it's also kind of super cool that it's in the run. It just, that's just how it is. So,
yeah, I mean, it's really early, so
it is very early in the run. I think if it were much later at all, I never would have bothered. But
one of my least favorite parts about it is that it makes the moon dance almost sort of. It puts almost pressure on you to get the moon dance at that point. You don't want to like go back again.
Exactly. You don't want to mess up moon dance, which makes you want to go slower, but you can't go too slow or else you'll lose too much time during moon dance. It adds this definitely some weird wrinkles to that as well, for sure.
This run has got just a lot of sort of tough tricks that kind of can determine the run one way or the other.
Yeah.
A lot of hurdles to jump over, if you will.
And jank. We can just be honest. This run has a lot of jank. But, that's part of the charm, I think. So,
yeah. You don't want any... If you don't want any jank, play any percent 08.
Right.
Well, it's less janky.
Yeah, far less, I'll say.
There's a spectrum of jank from the categories.
Mm-hmm. So because we have an extra missile pack, we can actually do BT a little faster here. And this extra missile pack will continue saving us a little bit of time here and there for the next few minutes. So that's another thing that makes Taco Tank worth it, is having the extra missiles. So... Yeah, I guess we should probably talk about what reverse boss order even means. So, reverse boss order in this context is referring to the 4 golden statues. So we do not fight Mother Brain first. What it is we go and fight Ridley in Norfair, and then Dragon in Meridia, and then Phantoon in Wrecked Ship, and then Kraid in Brinstar. And if you think about that for a couple seconds, you might realize, okay, well, Kraid is guarding Varia Suit, which protects you from heat damage, and Phantoon is guarding Gravity Suit, which lets you move freely in water. And so, conceptually, this run is really cool because of the restrictions on boss order, because it forces you to do a lot of risky, flashy, and kind of like obscure movement tech in order to survive and also get from place to place quickly that you wouldn't really see in most other categories. So yeah, that's the short version of that. We do need this reserve tank, so having the extra missiles allows us to get through this door earlier. Again, so that's another time save from grabbing the extra missile pack with Taco Tank. And then we go and get early supers here. And then the next thing that's going to happen, this throws a lot of people off when they're watching this run. So we're going to get stuck in some blocks and then start kind of jumping and wiggling back and forth. What we're going to be doing is 176 consecutive moonfalls that are continuously buffering our fall speed until Samus is falling so fast that she can fall through a single tile. So I put this into the run when I got the record, and it caused some controversy, but People have lovingly started referring to it as Moondance. There's some emotes about Moondance, and I think in terms of reverse boss order, it is kind of cool that it exists here. Just because again, there's so many like weird things in reverse boss order, and this just kind of does go along that theme, that general theme. But
I mean, if this became in every category, it would be kind of annoying. Maybe.
Agreed.
Maybe more so, but
that's kind of why it's cool. It's really only faster in this category and other like obscure categories. So
it doesn't feel out of pocket for an RBO run. I mean, RBO has historically had a lot of crazy stuff. If you don't know, historically RBO is not even like in its current form for quite a while. Reverse boss order, you're not allowed to do major glitches, which is going out of bounds is probably the biggest one. You can do a lot of weird things out of bounds, but we didn't used to do anything too crazy out of bounds or anything like that. Even though at times I did route like some very heavy out of bounds into the category at one point, but it's gone through so many different iterations. I was saying earlier, like an hour ago, that like back in the day, it seemed like almost every record was a completely different route, almost, or at times it was like that.
Yeah.
But everything's so streamlined now. Since you're going to Ridley first, stuff like this, like breaking into this area with you're not supposed to be able to, it allows you just sort of streamline your movement from the top of the map around the left through Brinstar, like we're at now, and still pick up everything along the way, so you don't have to circle back around and then back down again, because ultimately our first objective is to defeat Ridley, and that's pretty much what we're doing. We're preparing. This whole prelude to Ridley is preparing for that, basically.
Yeah, the first half of the run is all about getting the resources needed to survive the Ridley fight. Like, quite literally, that's everything that we do here, that's why. Geo asked in your chat if it won't work with 175 moonfalls, and it will not, because Samus's fall speed is not fast enough yet at that point. So if you do 175 moonfalls and then you mess up, you have to start over. Yeah, this whole segment of the run is just item collection. There are a lot of cool strats for the item collection, but really, like was already mentioned, we're just getting energy tanks and missile packs and super missile packs and power bombs so that we can survive. This is a pretty cool gate glitch here. So there's a gate up in the top right that we're going to shoot with a super missile off screen to open it. I really like that strat.
Yeah, I like how we have two kind of almost super plus camera position glitches to get both of these items in the sort of east side of
yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's really interesting. Like taking advantage of the camera position and shooting a super from the exact right spot to make it work. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's crazy. Man, this game's so cool. I love this game, dude.
Yeah, so going this way with doing that moon dance and not coming back here. If you come back here, if you like do a, I guess you'd call that a double Norfair or whatever. Is that right?
Yeah.
You get speed booster, then leave. So you can come back and you have a couple more options, like getting that E-tank underneath charge beam. But the runs got streamlined enough to where try to cut out as much as possible.
Yeah. So if we hadn't done Taco Tank, we'd have to go get it right now. But because we got it earlier, we can skip all of that backtracking and just go in there, grab the power bombs, and then leave. What else is there to talk about coming up here? So we're gonna go grab Spazer In Zost's record back in when I first broke it in 2018, Zost's record actually didn't grab Spazer, and it grabbed a bunch of missiles instead. What I ended up doing back then was dropping the missiles and grabbing Spazer, and what's funny is I did that because Zost's route was actually too hard for me, and then it ended up being faster.
I forgot about
anyway.
that. Forgot. You may have told me that before.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't do the
That's
Ridley
hilarious.
fight with the extra X factors. I just couldn't do it. I was like, screw this! I'm just gonna grab Spazer. This is stupid. And then like I timed it out again, and it was faster. I was like, oh. So yeah.
Did I get Warfare Reserve?
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing that I dropped.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, Spazer is actually pretty goated in this category, which is funny because we do end up grabbing Plasma later, and usually you only want one or the other. But Spazer just so happens to save enough time to make it worth it in this category, which is pretty interesting. Kind of cool, actually, to think about.
There's a lot of that Gold Frieza fight.
Yeah, a big part of it is that, yeah, which we can talk about. So you'll notice that Samus's health is constantly depleting here. That's because these are heated rooms and we do not have Varia suit. So that is going to be a common theme for the next, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of the run. Because again, we can't grab Varia because it's locked behind Kraid. So all of the routing here and all of the item acquisitions and everything, it's all centered around this idea that we need to not die from heat damage. So for example, going and getting Ice Beam first, the reason that we do that is because we're going to grab an energy tank down here, which will then refill us to full. If we grabbed the energy tank earlier and then went to Ice Beam and then tried to do the next section of the run, we wouldn't have enough energy to make it through the next Hell run. So that's why we do things in this order.
What's interesting is like doing this optimal route is arguably harder than, or easier than some of the Hell runs you might have to do. You just go straight to Upper Norfair.
Double Norfair actually has more difficult Hell runs than this version. Yep, that's true.
But you pay for it in Lower Norfair.
You do, absolutely.
In this route.
What's up, Mushroom Bells?
I think my first route, like I want to say my first run of this category was a 2 E tank plus reserve Hell run.
Yeah, that's rough.
That was like in 2013.
We watched the low ice run before this, and we're like 10, 12 minutes into this run.
And then I went to Meridia twice, so.
Double Meridia actually has some really cool.
Double Meridia is cool, but it's just very slow to go to Meridia 2 times.
Slow. Yeah. That's cool.
You can get a lot of extras for sure.
Cool swag though.
Yeah.
So, okay. This farm looks really annoying. Honestly, it's not as bad as it looks. It's kind of nice to just mindlessly sit here for like a minute. But the idea is we need to get our energy up high enough that we're refilling our reserves. We don't have to do that before Speed Booster, but we do after. Before Speed Booster, we need to make sure we have enough energy to make it there and back. But yeah, pretty much any farm like that is for the sake of refilling energy and or super missiles. So
the randomness of that farm, because sometimes it can skew towards small energies instead of large energies, and you can just start losing time for no reason.
Yep, there's a lot of RNG in this category, and most of that RNG is centered around your farms. Some of it is like Dragon boss pattern or Phantoon boss pattern, but most of it is just, did I get big energies or small energies, and did I get the super missiles that I needed? So I didn't even get reserves there. Man.
That's what I was thinking. You said you were going to get reserves,
No,
and you
I've
did.
apparently forgotten how to run this category. Well, GG.
How long is this? How old is this run now?
So it's a little over 2 years old at this point. So it's been a bit. People keep asking me to go back to it, and I don't want to because I'm so happy with the way that this run turned out. Like,
tempted to play it again.
Yeah, I just, you know, and I want to leave the next minute milestone for someone else. Like, if you were to come back and get the 55, I might consider running it again, but otherwise I'm good. Like, I'll probably never push for another record in this category until someone else does it, if ever. So. Alright, so now we're going down to Crocomire, I think.
That's correct, Crane. Supers are the best item you can get really at this point. Just about. I mean, obviously something like Grapple or Ice Beam is crucial, but other than, you know, for a minor item, even E-Tanks or anything like Super is better than the E-Tank at this point.
Yeah. Yep. So this fight's pretty cool. You can get extra shots in, which I'm pretty sure I did here. Yep. So basically we want to scoot Crocomire back as quickly and efficiently as possible. Some of that is RNG, some of it is execution. We don't want those swipes that he was doing because each of those adds like a second or something. But typically you're going to get somewhere between 2 and 4 swipes in a fight. If you get no swipes, that's like super good. But you can also get like 10 swipes, which is really awful. So that's just another, you know, there's a lot of RNG in this category. I just shot a door through the right wall. That's called a wraparound shot. Without getting into the weeds too much, basically there's a copy of the room on the right side. So we shot the door on the left of the room through the right side of the room. It's not, like, it's hard to do accidentally, but if you know the setup, it's not hard to do either. So.
Time that out to give yourself a little extra space there to try to get that.
Yep.
Short charge.
Okay. So now we're going to go grab Grapple Beam. That might sound kind of weird that we need Grapple Beam in a speedrun category. That isn't 100%, but honestly, Grapple Beam makes this category so much faster than it would be otherwise, and also more possible than it would be otherwise. For 2 reasons. So 1, we can use Grapple Beam to farm items. So if you shoot an item drop with Grapple Beam, it will pick it up, which is super cool. And the other thing is Grapple Beam helps us with a lot of movement in Meridia. So, dude, that's the best mock ball in the game, and I've missed it on every important run ever. Okay.
You know those big ski jumps? Those like where they go down and then do like a huge jump.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the mock. That's the mock ball version.
Dude. I never realized that until you said it. That's the perfect analogy. Okay, so we're full on energy, we're full on missiles, we're full on supers, and we're full on power bombs. Now you notice we have 20, 15, and 15 for missiles and supers and power bombs. That is very important because we have to have enough to Crystal Flash, and we need enough supers to do damage fast enough in Lower Norfair to survive. Also, the 20 missiles does matter. You can do it with 15, but most of the time you're going to lose any time that you would save by skipping the missile pack, so we just do 20. Okay, so this lava dive is pretty cool. basically you just jump in certain ways and do wall jumps at the right spots. But then you also need to be ready to Crystal Flash, so... So for people who don't know, Crystal Flash uses your ammo to replace your energy. So it requires 10, 10, and 10 of each ammo type, and you also need to have an extra power bomb to drop. So you can say you need 11 power bombs for Crystal Flash. There's some edge cases there that it will work with 10, but most of the time you need 11.
You have to be next to an enemy that's gonna almost guarantee. There's a few enemies that will almost guarantee you a power bomb drop, and if you can time out to where you do it at that right next to them, then that's basically the only time you can do it with 10 max.
Yeah. So that was another gate glitch there. You see a little farming action there with the grapple beam too. It's pretty cool. And then we actually come back in here for more farming. And honestly, like, if that doesn't illustrate how important super missiles are, I don't know what would. Like, the fact that we literally reload that room to get more supers. Like, they are so important.
Do they do double damage on GT?
I don't think so. It's just that they do good damage, like, fast. So, well, maybe they do, actually. Man, I don't remember. Huh. Well, I'll have to look into that.
The only problem with supers on GT is that GT will grab the first one.
Yeah.
So that you're not getting every, you're only getting, like, what is it? Is it 4 out of 5?
Yeah. If you time it correctly, you get 4 out of 5. So we use a bunch of super missiles here to do a bunch of damage to GT. And then we also do charge shots with the Ice Wave Spazer Beam combo, which, as I mentioned earlier, Spazer makes a huge difference with how long it takes to finish this fight. This farming strat's also pretty cool. So we did use the supers because they're worth it, but we also need to get some back. So that's why I was doing those farms there.
Do another Crystal Flash to refill it. Oh, we just really want them for Ridley, too. I guess it's more about the Crystal Flash at this point.
Yeah, so the reason that we even went to fight GT in the first place is actually for the super missiles. Very conveniently, Screw Attack also happens to be right there, and it is extremely beneficial in this category. But yeah, if we didn't need those super missiles that badly, we would not bother fighting GT. Like, the whole reason we go and fight GT is for those supers.
Right, so Ridley takes double damage from supers, which would be 600 damage instead of 300 damage.
Yep.
The best charge beam you can have at this point does 300 damage. But charge beam is a lot slower, like the cooldown is a full, complete second of cooldown between shots, where supers, you can pelt them out pretty quickly. I'm not sure the exact DPS, but
it's once every 20 frames, so it's 3 times the DPS.
Yeah.
So Screw Attack does really help here. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, the fact that your energy is draining during the fight, like, one E-Tank is still not as good as, like, an extra E-Tank is definitely not as good as the supers. Well, first of all, because the supers make the fight just go quicker, but, like, way quicker. But I want to say that each super pack is going to save you more health by just speeding up the fight than tank. I don't know exactly how many E-Tanks would be equivalent to, but it would be more than one, I would say.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. The other thing is, at this point in the run, we've grabbed every super missile that is accessible that doesn't take forever to grab. So, like, you could argue dropping an energy tank for another super missile pack, but it's going to be slower. You could
there's no more convenient ones.
You could theoretically actually drop one more energy tank than what this route grabs, but it would take the consistency of survival down, like, a huge amount. And the other thing is you would end up having issues with your energy starting in Meridia all the way through the end of the game. Like you just run into a bunch of problems if you don't have this many energy tanks. So
I would imagine it'd make you get health back too, which is kind of be problematic a lot of times.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bit of a diminishing return on how aggressively you want to push the energy. I feel it does backfire at some point, even if you survive.
For sure. So, similar to low ice, this room can just decide that your run is over, because you have to sit and farm these bugs until you're full on supers, which you can see we're full now, but the problem is our energy's gone. So what we have to do is time a crystal flash correctly and then start farming again. And from here, we need to get our supers back to full. And sometimes these bugs will just drop you a bunch of energy instead, like for forever. So it's just another aspect of the run that is very, very RNG dependent.
How annoying would a regular bomb drop be right here?
Super.
Okay.
Super annoying.
I didn't know if there was any benefits or like getting your crystal flash ammo.
Yeah, I mean it can be helpful, but for the most part, you know, we can get the power bombs that we need back from the violas or whatever.
I do remember thinking those were kind of unlucky drops because they're like 2% drops, and this is the one time a few times where you're like, I really don't want those rare drops. Kind of funny.
Yep, so this fight is all based around doing enough damage fast enough to survive before the heat damage kills you. It's both easier and harder than it looks, strangely. So the nice thing about Ridley in this category is he's way more predictable in this category than he is in most other categories.
I think my fight was like completely manipulated.
Yeah. The thing that
wasn't Aussies like that too, or
it might have
the screw attack in the left side.
Yeah. So you can do like a screw attack jump to the left to force him to turn around and pogo. This is RBO, yes. But yeah.
So the fact that you can almost I don't know, yours is not like that, is it?
No,
you have to react in some cases.
Yeah, so if you know how to react depending on which pattern he gives you, it's better not to. Like, it's just a little faster and more...
Yeah,
but... Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, what I was going to say is, like, even though the fight is, like, almost scripted, if you make any mistakes, you're just dead. So it's still really hard. It's just a different kind of hard than like any percent or 100% or low ice or whatever.
Yeah, y'all. It's not just about the fact that we're losing energy constantly. It's the fact that we're taking way more damage because we have no suits when you're expected to have all the suits, and therefore, like, what is it, 75% damage reduction?
Yeah. Yep. Gravity gives 75%. So we have enough power bombs that we don't need to go grab the extra pack to the left here, which is pretty nice. I did have to refarm both of the pirates for more supers, but we ended up with enough, so that's the main point there. There's a little time lost, but not crazy. And again, like, screw attack makes such a big difference here, because you don't have to worry about manipulating these key hunters in a specific way or waiting for them to move out of the way or anything. You can just go through them. So coming up here, so I'm intentionally taking damage here so that I can do a crystal flash to have the energy that I need for the rest of the escape here. And then I'm going to do something here called a spike suit. This is the first spike suit we're seeing in any of these runs. So basically, if you unmorph on the correct frame and then press jump again after taking damage from spikes, you'll activate a shine spark that you can then carry indefinitely until you use it. So the movement from there for the next few minutes of the run, I currently have a shine spark. This actually really complicates the movement because any movement that you would do that would normally activate a Shine Spark still will. So if you do a straight jump, for example, you're going to use it, or if you press up in a spin jump, or if you press angle up in a spin jump, or like any sort of thing like that, you're going to lose the Shine Spark, which in this category would lose a lot of time. The caveat to that is that you can do straight jumps when you're underwater as long as you are holding the shoot button. I forget exactly why, but so you'll see me doing some straight jumps once we get to Meridia. But
how much time is the Shine Spark to the O20 tank?
Yeah, so a long time ago, we used to say it was like 40 seconds or like a minute or whatever. When I was doing
that's more than I remember.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, no. When I was doing this category, when we were doing this category together, we found out that it's not actually quite that much. It's definitely still a time save. A lot of the time save depends on whether you need to go back and farm again or not, but it is a time save regardless. It's like, I want to say it's like 20 to 30 seconds optimally. That just depends on your movement and stuff like that. So
that's both like the frame perfect Shine Spark setup to get the Shine Spark, and then your movement being restricted, and if you make the wrong, like during at any point, just accidentally below the stored Shine Spark.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a gravity jump here. And keep in mind, like I said, we have to hold on to the Shine Spark. So that's why we did a morph there, because otherwise pressing up would have activated the Shine Spark. Now, all of the movement here in Meridia is based on freezing enemies in the correct position and doing crouch jumps in the right spots. What's really funny about Suitless Meridia is that when I was first learning RBO, I really was not looking forward to Suitless Meridia. It sounded both very tedious and also very intimidating to me. And it actually ended up being my favorite part of the run. So there's a lot of really cool movement tech in the next few minutes.
I love this series of, grapple is just so awesome.
Yeah.
Grapple strats are just some of my favorite.
So I grabbed those power bombs because we needed power bombs to be able to crystal flash and also to be able to, get through these blocks and stuff here. So yeah, those were very important drops there. These are called grapple jumps. So if Samus is swinging upwards and you morph and then unmorph, you'll be able to jump out of the sitting pose, interestingly. And keep in mind, I still have the Shine Spark.
Shine Spark.
It's funny, like...
I remember when I came back to this and I was kind of dreading this part, like, because it's so long that you have to hold that without making a mistake.
Yeah.
But it ended up not being as bad as, like once I started doing it.
Yeah.
And learning it, it wasn't as bad.
You kind of just learn the movement, and then it's fine. But yeah.
It's still scary, don't get me wrong.
For sure. So that was a really good Botchwoon fight. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a Shine Spark in the next room. I want to say you want at least 14 supers here, so since I only have 13, I'm pretty sure we're going to go back and farm. Nope. Okay, I'm wrong again.
Hey!
So yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, where some of the time save there depends on whether you need to backtrack back to some bugs and farm, but I didn't have to do that in this run, so... Falling, you do not want to fall into the sand here. It is very difficult to get out without dying. If you do. It's possible, but it's dicey.
Yeah. Basically just get stuck there unless you really know. Wiggle yourself out of it.
Yeah.
It takes a very specific series of inputs, though.
Alright, so we're breaking the turrets, and then We're going to damage down. And the reason for that is that we need to be able to Crystal Flash. That sounds kind of weird to Crystal Flash in the middle of a boss fight. But the reason we do it is because if a Crystal Flash gets interrupted, you end up with a Shine Spark, just like a Spike Suit, basically. And we actually need that in order to be able to escape here. Thank you, Nintoaster.
Yeah, you can also, the old way to escape was to get X-ray and then
do an X-ray.
Do an X-ray climb. Yeah. And that X-ray climb, I believe, is considered inbounds.
Yeah, you never go technically out of bounds for it.
Is that allowed in the RBO current?
I mean, there's people have said both. I don't really care personally.
Yeah, I don't either.
One thing to note is with this Dragon fight, you do not want swoops. I got a couple swoops in this fight, so that added just a little time. It's not a huge deal, but. All right, so we're gonna collect these.
I love watching her walk underwater with the echoes. There's something cool about the slow motion movements with the echo trails.
For sure.
Makes me remember like when I won solitaire and
the Zoast lore. All right, we're gonna do another grapple jump here. I make this look really easy. It's not. Just so you know. That grapple jump is really jank. Okay, and then we're gonna use a Shine Spark here. If we didn't have a Shine Spark here, we would just be stuck. So like Zoe said, the alternative there is to have X-ray and do X-ray climbs. You cannot, it's literally impossible to get out of there, even for tasks on this version of the game, if you don't have one of those things. So, pretty crazy. From here, go ahead.
That grapple jump out of Dragon can be scary too if you start messing it up because it costs energy to hold that grapple onto the spike and onto the electricity.
And it requires energy to Shine Spark. So if you use too much, you also just get stuck.
So you kind of run a timer of how many times you even attempt that.
So we are going to go grab Plasma. What's interesting about this category is Plasma saves time because we have to go to Wreck Ship next. If we did not have to go to Wreck Ship next, it would not save time. So it's kind of interesting to think about that. But because we have to go to Wreck Ship next, and because of the time that it saves on Mother Brain, it ends up being faster to detour here and grab Plasma anyway.
Did I skip this?
Did you skip this?
Did I get Plasma?
In your old run?
I didn't skip Plasma,
No,
right?
you got it.
Yeah.
I mean, because you skipped Space.
I think
Can you imagine doing Mother Brain fight with just Wave? Wave and Ice?
I guess not.
That would suck, man.
I thought I remembered like having one run where I skipped it. I don't know.
I mean, maybe you did. It wasn't the old record though.
I would have had Spazer though, I would imagine. Done that. It's weird too because I mean, like the first time I got records in this category was just there was nobody. It was like the first runs, the speed runs of the category almost. I mean, you could argue there's some other ones that count as well, but
yeah.
They were one of the first, at least we'll just say that. And I just remember, like, I hadn't even really worked out this later part of the run because it was so tense trying to figure out how to get through Ridley. Just doing that.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
So you kind of overlook some of the movement through Plasma and these kind of areas.
And that's a lot of the time save that I found when I was first running this category too. Was just like optimizing cool movement through these rooms, which is also cool because you don't normally see these rooms, so it's fun to figure out how to go fast. Somebody was asking, can't you just underwater wall jump to get out of Dragon? No, you cannot. Even Task cannot. Samus physically cannot jump high enough to get out. in this version of the game. You can in the PAL version, but not in this version. This is a really cool short charge here. I really like this strat. I think I get it. Hopefully I got it. Yeah. I remember when I was practicing for my run at GDQ in 2019, I was in somebody's room. I don't know why we were there, but I was in somebody's room and we were practicing. So I wasn't even playing on like a CRT. I had a bunch of like input lag on like an HD TV or whatever. And they were just like, it was playful, but they were just talking so much crap on me constantly. And then I just whip out that Shine Spark strat and they're like, okay, that was pretty cool. Like they couldn't even, they're like, fine, that was cool.
I was trying to remember if that's in map.
It probably is, maybe. So, funny thing about this Fantoon fight, you could go for a 1-round Doppler, but a 2-round is so free with plasma that I didn't even bother trying.
I think one of the reasons I saved the animals that last run I did before we got the record first time. I think part of that was because Fantoon was like a slow or something. There's a slow pattern. I was just like, well, I can't beat. I didn't feel like I could get the 102, so I was just like, you know what? I'll just get the animal.
I don't remember exactly.
Have fun with it.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but yes, your Fantoon was a train wreck in your old run. I think you like missed your plasma shot while he was off screen and he ended up disappearing and it was like a 3rd round or like something. Like it was bad, whatever it was. So yeah. You also it was before Moonfall and you also bonked on climb on the way down. Like you were goofing off, weaving through the platforms, and you just like hit one of them. You're like, whatever. It ended up being the record.
Yeah, I don't know if I planned to do that. I can't remember. I want to say it wasn't necessarily planned.
What's the time save for Plasma and wrecked ship? So Plasma doesn't save time in wrecked ship. It's just that it's on the way to wrecked ship. And so the detour is a lot less than it would be otherwise. And then Plasma saves a bunch of time on Mother Brain.
The reaction when I did that on Twitch chat at the time, favorite reactions that I've ever elicited out of it.
The animals?
I guess you would say a crowd, yes. Could go into the animals.
I'd have to go back and look at that. I would definitely.
I mean, it wasn't
a different.
It wasn't like
now than I had before.
It wasn't like crazier than any other important event, like too much crazier, but it definitely surprised some people and they were just getting a kick out of it. It was a good time.
Yeah. All right, so we're fighting Kraid now, finally, after all this time. Something that's pretty funny. People often ask, why don't you grab Varia? And it's because by the time you get to this point of the run, you just really don't need it anymore. It would be slightly helpful versus Mother Brain, but not really. So we just don't.
It's got to be pretty significant time loss, at least like 15 seconds, I would say. Maybe 20 with the two kind of the fanfare plus the suit animation.
Yep, and then 2 doors, which are like 3 seconds each. Yep, so we just kill Kraid and then leave. You really don't want to hit Mini Kraid there, by the way. He does a ton of damage when you don't have suits.
Yeah. It's really easy to die to me.
And
yeah.
It might not look like it or sound like it, but you actually do want to focus on energy conservation at this point in the run. because things in Turian hit really hard, and you need enough energy to be able to do stand-up glitch during the Mother Brain fight. So it's actually pretty.
Don't the Metroids drain you faster?
They do, yeah. Like significantly faster.
It's just Varia. Is that right? It's just Varia that counts.
So the baby Metroid just looks for Varia, just like the Rainbow Beam. I think regular Metroids, I might be wrong on this, I think regular Metroids take both into account.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on that. So. We do not get Gravity Suit in this run, because again, by the time we could grab it, it wouldn't be helpful anymore. It'd just be really slow. Gravity is a huge detour.
Yeah, that's a big detour.
Were there any major mistakes in this? There have been little mistakes throughout. The movement is also 2 years old. I mean, not that I was bad at movement when I got this run. I was pretty good at it by then. But
it's a pretty solid run.
I'm better now. There's also some bad RNG in a couple places. Like this run is definitely improvable, but it's so like, as far as what I wanted out of an RBO run, it checked all the boxes, which is why I have no interest in going back to it, because any run that I could get, I would be less satisfied with. It's guaranteed. So. We made it.
Metroid rooms are kind of challenging in this, like Metroid 1.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The Metroid rooms in this category are... So they're challenging in the sense that they're similar to 100%, but not quite the same. And also in the sense that if you get grabbed, you're going to lose a lot more energy than you would because you don't have any suits. So yeah, they're pretty... I'd say they're pretty difficult. They're not quite like 100% or GD Classic level of difficulty, but pretty rough.
I just think the first one because it feels hard to... I forget what it is to cleanly do the first few Metroids without falling in the...
Yeah, so I think I actually just opt to fall in.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I didn't used to, and then I remember I was posting, asking about it, and I think Static 9 was like, just dip in the acid. And I was like, there's no way that's better. And then I tried it, and it was. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, but I mess up. So, yeah. So...
You were going for... it looked like you were going for the space jump into the super shot.
Yeah, I was, but you don't actually clear the ledge. You take a little dip into the acid and jump out.
Alright.
But yeah.
It's still tough to do that. That space jump into super still looks kind of tough.
Yeah. So this was my first... This run specifically was my first PB that had... No, that's a lie. It was my first world record that had Stachio Skip. Stachio Baby Skip was discovered like 3 months before this run, 5 months before this run. Like it was pretty recent. So the other thing is that Stachio Baby Skip with Plasma is actually quite a bit different than with Spazer. So yeah, but it's cool. It's a cool strat.
Really hope to see some sort of breakdown of all the changes in video form, in good video form.
That would be super cool. I hope that happens someday.
I don't know the best way to do that, but it'd be cool to see, I think.
Alright, so we have the Mother Brain fight. Like I mentioned earlier, Plasma saves a bunch of time here, so we only need 20 charge shots. So really the only, like, it's not free, because Mother Brain can do some janky patterns and stuff sometimes and you just die. But for the most part, this fight is not scary. but you can lose a lot of time depending on when she does catch up.
Can't get rid of that stinking ketchup RNG.
Yep. 17, 18, 19. Oh, no, that was 20. Okay,
That looks pretty good right there.
That was really good.
Yeah.
It was almost really bad, but it was actually really good. So. Another thing is, we do stand up in this category, but this run was before the 2 cries manipulation had been found, and so that is one thing that could save a bunch of time in this category because we don't have the newer stand-up manipulation. So it's like,
how would that save?
3 seconds, 4 seconds.
3.
It's substantial. I guess we can just count the cries. That's
just
1,
skip screw
2,
attack.
3, 4, 5, 5. So it's like 3 seconds. Just skip screw attack? Who said that?
It's the exclamation mark just skip screw
just.
attack.
That'll
the
save
idea
a
in
bunch
my
of
mind.
time.
Yeah, just do that.
Yeah, there are people with strong opinions about that. That's all I'm gonna say. As far as I know, they're not around anymore.
I'm sure that I've looked into that.
I did.
Yeah.
Like, it's possible to survive, but then you end up losing a bunch of movement time and stuff.
Is there any other ideas that you've had since this point of ways this could be improved
for RBO?
Yeah, like realistically, I mean.
I had a thought. I don't remember what it was. It did revolve around something that was like really awful for the Ridley fight, though. I remember thinking it, being like, I'm never touching that. So, yeah, but now we're in the escape. Now, what's funny is, in the grind previous to this one, I had a run where I was like a minute ahead of pace. Now, that run would not have ended up being as good as this run's time, but it was such a good run for the time. People were like going crazy, and I'm in the escape, and everybody's like dropping gift subs and bits, and everybody's cheering, and I'm like, stop, the run's not over. And what happened was I missed this shine spark right here, and I lost all of that time. So that was the thing that happened. Thankfully, it did not happen in this run. Nice jump ball there.
Nice. Yeah, I like that jump.
And time. It was 50, Arian. Somebody dropped 50 gift subs, and then I lost my entire lead. Anyway. Yeah, very cool run. Like I said, RBO is pretty special to me. As my first world record, and what's really cool about reverse boss order is I mentioned earlier that I love challenge runs, like challenges in games in general, and so reverse boss order in Super Metroid is really cool because it kind of brings both of my favorite things together in terms of like it's a challenge run and it's a speed run and it has really cool stuff. So
I gotta shout out Desi because learning this category by watching Desi's old playthroughs of this, which I would consider fast enough to be a speedrun. It was like 3 hours or something.
Yeah.
Shout
outs to Desi for sure. He did a lot for our community that I think a lot of people that are in the community now don't realize just how
he hasn't been too
instrumental
present.
So
there's a lot of people, obviously. There's too much to try to exhaustively list, but Desi's a big one, especially when Yeah, the time period, the first the time period that I was active until 5 years ago. I guess. I can't remember exactly when Desi stopped being quite as present online.
Yeah. He still pops into chat now and then. It's always really good to see him. But yeah.
He's always doing theory tasks and
yeah,
coming up with ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's got an eye for the game, for sure. Well, so we have 2 other runs to watch. I don't have time tonight, and I think you need to go to bed soon too, right? So.
Yeah, I'm gonna wind down soon.
Cool.
When are we doing this again? What day did you say you wanted to do this
So we can do it on Friday if you want to. That's what you were saying. If you'd rather pivot to another day, that's fine too. So.
No, Friday's fine.
Okay. Sounds good.
Just gonna do the other two categories, right? Any percent hundo.
Yep, should be roughly the same amount of time. Because any is shorter and hundo is longer. So. But yeah. Again, I really appreciate you being willing to hang out and chat, watch these runs. It means a lot, and
yeah.
I think there are a lot of people out there that are probably very interested in your take on everything too. So yeah, thank you. That being said,
it's fun to do something a little different.
Yeah, we should do this kind of stuff more often. Also, we still need to do RoboCop. Shameless plug, because we just watched RBO. So
I just watched that movie a few days ago for the first time ever.
I've never seen it. So yeah,
it's interesting. I don't know if you would want to, I mean, it's.
But we got to do the run, man. Got to do the run.
It's pretty violent, but it's funny. Yeah.
What is it, like 3 years now? We'll do RoboCop soon. Then something comes up. But
there was 2 or 3 times where that movie just made me laugh out loud. Really, even though it's like a dark movie, there's a couple moments that just made me start laughing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna sign off here. Twitch, I will find you guys a raid. Zoast, thank you again, and we can reconvene for the other 2 runs on Friday. So
sounds good to me.
Starting over. Stop it. Stop. All right.
Congrats again on everything.
Thanks, man.
The runs are amazing, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
You too.
Oh! I knew I shot too many missiles. Totally do this.
We'll see that moon dance coming up.
Moon Dance. That is not the song, though.
Oh, and Zenny looks like he's gonna go for that early E-tank. Let's see how many tries he takes for this thing.
I'm gonna guess 2. That will double.